Would you like to find more success working exclusive final expense telesales leads? Would you like to unpack some more powerful ways to translate the conversation? Well, we're going to dive into that today with you on how to work final expense telesales leads, but also the mindset of how you can potentially make money working exclusive leads so that you can hopefully get a lot more out of an industry that fails out, let's be blunt about it, 90% of the agent force. And hopefully that will not be you. So, the seeds of success in this industry are based on what you plant daily, right? So, if you're a Monday through Friday agent, are you diligent about planting seeds every single day? And what I'm talking about is planting the seeds in the minds of your consumers through conversations. Seeds are important. Seeds in this industry, think about them as leads. All right. You're going to plant and plant and plant. You don't just plant seeds and immediately expect to eat the next day. Now, we get one call closes all the time in this industry, but you've got to have the right depth to plant the seed. And that is so important to have the depth of conversation. You've got to have enough time into every call that you make so that you can have a chance of finding the need, being needed, and have a conversion. But seeds are important. You can't grow a garden off one seed, most likely. Very low chance of that seed ever sprouting into something good. So you got to have the volume so you don't have panic. So when you're looking at exclusive final expense leads, you've got to have your purchase right. No different than you can't have a big garden that you have in your mind and have a tiny seed budget. You've got to look at this industry like I got to buy a lot of leads so that I don't have panic in my chest and hopefully I'll get somebody to purchase from me. So if you're a full timer, by the way, I'll give you that metric. If you're a full time agent, you really want 80 to 100 exclusive final expense telesales leads, and then you're going to work them with your script. Very important in your training that you understand that. And if you're a part time insurance agent, you really want about 50 leads every week, about half, and you really want to work them with everything that's in you. So the amount of seeds are important, and you're going to keep planting on the weekly. All right. Because the seeds that you plant today sometimes may sprout tomorrow or next week or 2, 3 weeks. One of our colleagues sold a very nice case this week, and that was on something that he uncovered in a conversation over 3 weeks ago. And just now it sprouted, became successful, and he got paid. You gotta look at this industry like it's gonna work. And the business typically will work out if you work the business, but no glass ceiling of where you can go in this industry, but no guarantee either. It's a 1099 industry that can really take the wind out of your sails. But you've got to have the volume of seeds to have the success opportunity that you know you can accomplish. But seeds are important. You got to have the depth of conversations with that client. Who do they want the check to be written to? What do they want you to accomplish for them? Not just you going too fast and thinking that a sale is going to happen. You can't go too fast. No different than if you're trying to grow a garden, you don't grab seeds and just chuck them on top of the dirt. Normally doesn't go well, right? They get stale, the sun comes out and fades them. Everything that happens in life will keep that seed from giving life, right? So in this industry, if you go too fast in a final expense telesale script, the seed of success isn't going to happen. You went too quick. You went too fast. You didn't go to the depth of what's the heart of my consumer? What do they want me to do for them? You've got to get down to what their needs are so that you're needed, my friends. It's so important that you look at the seed of success as the lead and you spend sometimes a lot of time with a consumer. Don't call it quits. Don't be a high pressure insurance salesman. Be the solution, the problem solver that's there to be that listening ear. But because you listened, they're going to be like, I like you. And then guess what? You have an opportunity to convert their problem into a paycheck when you become the solution. They're going to go, I like this guy. I trust this guy. I like this gal. I trust this gal that I'm talking to on the other end of the phone. And hopefully you can attain profitability as a result because you don't sound like every other final expense telesales agent that's working exclusive leads, that's hammering them in a way that you wouldn't want to be treated either. So speed to lead, very critical. But remember, the seeds of success that you plant today will now slowly sprout through that conversation that's intentional, through connection and connecting the dots for the consumer. But seeds are important. You got to have enough leads. You have to have enough exclusive final expense leads so that you can have a chance of making it. And a lot of insurance agents, they'll maybe buy a tiny amount of leads and then they wonder why they don't last. You can't have panic in your chest. If I have 100 leads as a full timer, okay, you told me no. All I think is next, right? If I have 50 leads as a part timer and you tell me no, I'm thinking next. You've got lots of seeds. I like gardening. And you know what? All the seeds don't sprout. You get a lot that, man, there's been some batches of seeds where you got so many and only so many sprout up. You've got to have more than enough. And in this industry and insurance sales, you have to have leads that you can say, I've got more than enough. It's going to be okay. So seeds are important, number one in this business with exclusive final expense leads. And if you don't know good lead holes, maybe you've been hurt by some lead vendors, reach out at jasonfinalexpense.com. We can help you with some great vendors and even some discount codes. So reach out if you like those codes as well. But you've got a number two, you got to focus on sprouting the sale just like a seed. All right. And that requires you to be intentional about connecting to the consumer through the process. This is why processes are so important. If you have a big V8 engine, let me tell you, things have to be in sync because that thing's a beast, right? You can't get things out of order. Just like a recipe, you can't throw the wet ingredients in first when you should have put dry ingredients together. It gets messy. This industry gets messy when you don't, first off, go to the depth that the consumer desires you to do to unpack the problem. But sprouting takes time. It takes nurturing. It takes watering. It takes a little heat, right? Which can be deemed as pressure at times, but it's not you being a high pressure salesman. It's about you really putting it back to what the client had spoken to you. You've got to spend time with the consumer to let the needs sprout. The need just will get unpacked through questioning. Final expense telesales is about control, not you being controlling, but by you controlling the tune of the conversation by the questions that you will pose to them based on what they've told you. So, questions are important, but spend the time to let these fruitful conversations arise because you knew the right questions to ask through your script. Systems will keep you safe working exclusive final expense leads. You've got to have a lot of them, but questions will help you control the call instead of this dead air sometimes that silence will do to you in a call, and then it derails everything. You're going to lose a lot of dollars if you treat a exclusive final expense telesales lead like you would treat a face-to-face appointment setting script working in a lead. You're going to get hurt. You can't go fast. You can't rush things. Rushing in this industry will rob you of the opportunity. No different than throwing a seed in the ground, watering it once, and then be like, come on, sprout already. And then it doesn't. So you start digging into it and digging it up. Nothing good will happen. So spend your time with the lead, uncover what they need you to do for them. And then number three, hopefully success will happen for you. But when you've got success, throw a portion of your success back into buying more seeds so you can continually keep that garden going and growing of success in this industry. So many insurance agents, they buy one lead order, they buy one batch of seeds if you were gardening. They don't let them sprout. They maybe have a tiny amount of success, but they don't take the time to reinvest into their business. And you got to really just nurture the business. If not, you're going to say, oh man, I didn't need this. I failed out. It's no good. And 90% of the agent force fails to show up. You can't not plant your seeds. The seeds of success are planted daily. And then you're going to spend time in the conversations, focusing on your script, focusing on the systems. And not everybody's going to buy from you working exclusive leads. Life insurance leads are the same way. You're going to have these folks that you're going to have three perfect presentations. And on average, hopefully one will convert with you. But if you rush everything out of three perfect presentations, if you rush the process, they're not going to like you. They're not going to trust you, and you won't sell life insurance. Simple as that. So sometimes you got to make minor adjustments. Train with some of the best final expense telesales agents on the planet. Join and partner with a great work family that can help you understand the language of life insurance sales. Working a final expense script or a life insurance telesales script is not something that is natural to most individuals. It's not something that you've done before. You're like, I can speak English, but this is a different language. Yes, it really is. Make sure that you put yourself in a position to win. When you're first starting out, have lots of seeds because not everything's going to sprout up that you can eat from right away. But plant that seed of success, spend time, nurture that conversation so that you will look at this business and go, you know what? This is what I needed for my career. No glass ceiling in this industry, but it's not just a job. You can't look at it that way. You got to look at it like a calling. And you may never call it quits when you find success, my friends. I hope you become just dynamically successful, but spending time will help you. But if you rush things, it'll rob you of the opportunity that you thought you had with a lead. And we do recruit amazing agents as well as agencies nationally to align with us to sell life insurance, Medicare insurance, and annuities. We sell it face to face, but more importantly, in the telespace. So free resources for your taking always, no matter what work family you align with, at jasonfinalexpense.com, as well as if you just need some help helping others, because this industry can sometimes give you a tiny hurdle, but once you have the resources, well, it may just get better for you. Remember, my friends, you've got what it takes, but take your time with every sales call. Don't go too fast, all right? And you may realize you may like the business a little bit more than you thought. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you